Okay, so we, our public can now see?
Well, no, it's just loading up right now, so just give it a
Okay.
sec.
If you give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to, that I can start the meeting, please.
Okay. Okay, you can go now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Does any member of council any pecuniary or financial interest to declare? Ted? You can do, okay, you can do so at the time then. You've had an opportunity to see the minutes of August 27th, 2020, the special meeting. Is there any errors or omissions to those minutes? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adopt. Moved by Ted, seconded by Carl. Discussion, all those in favor? Hands up, guys. Thank you very much. That's carried. Okay, we'll go to reports. And Dale, you're there. Could you please give us your report? Dale Thompson, our asset manager, facilities manager.
Okay. For the library, we have a few little things to do. Other than that, everything's cleaned up and ready to go. We're going to plant 5 shrubs currently where we put the clear stone on the outside. The asphalt walkway should be finished up by the end of the week. And we've got repainting the wheelchair symbols and the lines. That's everything for the library.
Okay, thank you.
Medical center and courthouse. We've replaced the pressure tank, filters, and the water softener. We have the hot water tank should be replaced later this week. And hopefully that should solve our water issues that we've been having there. We did not replace the UV filter. We're hoping that the other repairs will be sufficient and that'll get the UV light working properly. Fire hall, the footings are done and the frost walls are poured. Oil separator is installed. The stormwater pond and ditching are roughed in. They've started the backfilling on the inside of the frost wall area, so the inside of the main building. Hydro has been out and done their hydro layout. We will have 2 repoles that are going to have to be changed to make them be able to, for one, take the transformer for the pole and to raise the lines up because they're too low, which we expected to have to do. And the culvert has been installed for the new entrance, but the driveway won't be finished until we get the hydro poles changed. Station Park, the swing has been repaired and is back up and operating again, so it's going to be used. If anybody gets any questions regarding some boards on the bridge needing replaced, I've investigated it and we'll have the boards replaced very soon. Hopefully before the end of the week, I'll be able to have the boards replaced. That's about all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Well done. Council, after each department head makes their presentation, I will excuse them. So if there's any questions, try to catch them when they're on Zoom. So does any member of council any questions on Dale's report? Okay, seeing none, Dale. So thank you very much, Dale. You can be excused and have a nice night. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice night. Bye.
Okay, so then we're moving to our CBO bylaw officer, which is Tyler. Hi, Tyler. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Okay, could you give us your report, please?
Nothing outstanding. We're up to 76 building permits, estimated value of 4.6 million so far of construction. Real estate and zoning inquiries are still moving quite steadily yet. Hasn't slowed down too much, and other than that, it's business as usual.
Okay. Any questions of Tyler? Now, Tyler, I can't excuse you because we do have an issue in close, so I would ask you to stay, please.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to our community development officer, Chris. Could you please give us your report?
Absolutely, just sharing my screen here. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So the first item is our environmental action tour. We had 20 teams participating with 43 participants. We cleaned up 22 roads in Killaloe, Richards, and pulled 92 bags of garbage and recycling out of the ditches with several hundred pounds of other trash and scrap metal. So it was a really big success, and we're definitely going to be doing it again in the spring. So I'm very excited for that.
Thank you, Chris. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. The second is a digital Main Street update. I have AJ's Convenience, Killaloe Hardware, the Old Cannery, Rustic Moose, and Grandma's Pantry uploaded into the program, and then Killaloe Flowers will be coming this week. Okay, so on to some new stuff. Item number 4 is an idea I have called Your History Project. So Your History is a letter email writing campaign where we will ask the citizens of Killaloe, Richards, past or present, to write us with any and all personal or family history that they know. Oral history storytelling is fading and as a communication method. If we don't make an effort now to have the public share these stories, they may be lost forever. We want to know your family history in your own words. We want to hear interesting stories, historical events, or ways of life as they were in the past. If it tells a story about Killaloe, Round Lake, or Wilno, we want to hear about it. Pictures, poems, letters, personal stories, newspaper clippings, notable figures, songs, family history, share it with us. This is a new program I'm hoping to launch in the next newsletter.
Okay. We'll go through your whole report, Chris, and then we'll start back at the start to make sure council, if they have questions, okay?
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is called Remembrance Radio. This year has been a year to remember. However, it is nothing compared to the years those who fought and died during battle during the wars. This year, we will not be able to do a Remembrance Day ceremony as we usually do. However, I feel it's still extremely important to recognize and reflect this sacrifice in our community. Therefore, with council permission, I'll be launching Remembrance Radio. In partnership with KHR, we'll be broadcasting live music, stories, poems, history, and interviews all morning on November 11th with a moment of radio silence at 11 a.m. Okay, this is another idea I have, Christmas and KHR Walkthrough Parade. So many of you, all of you have got this letter that I wrote to you in the package with this, but I'll just go through kind of what the plan is going to be if it is allowed. So what will happen is people will receive in the newsletter, they will receive a ticket. That ticket will be good for 5 people, and in extenuating circumstances, they'll be able to have more people if their family is actually bigger than that. This way, the event will stay extremely local. No one outside of our municipality will be able to attend because it'll only be sent out to people in our municipality. Then when people arrive, they will show up to the red square here and they will check in. They will be asked screening questions, and then they will be sent over to one of these holding areas. The way I've designed this is that only 25 people will be in each holding area at a time, and only 25 people will be able to actually move through the park as this event is going on, keeping it at half the recommended number from the Renfrew County District Health Unit. And so what will happen is, unlike a regular parade where people are stationary and the floats are moving through, these little blue squares will actually be the floats. So everyone will be socially distanced in that group. So say a business wanted to have one, or a local organization or something, and they will be set up here, all socially distanced. And each group will have 10 minutes to travel through this area here. I timed it out. It only takes 3 minutes, so 10 minutes is more than enough time. So for example, if 12 o'clock was going through the park, 12:10 would be waiting in holding area 1, and 12:20 would be waiting in holding area 2. These gates will be wide. There's no touch points. So it just adds an additional security feature. And that way there's not going to be any lineups, because people will be coming from the parking lot 5-10 minutes early. They'll get sent into their holding zone. They'll do the screening. And also keep in mind that everyone will be contact traced because it is a requirement. So we will be having everyone before, say where they live, their phone numbers, everything. So if there is any incidents, we'll be able to immediately contact and figure out that end of it. So you'll come in, you'll check, you go to holding area 1. If you're 1220, you go to holding area 2. That way there's no one waiting here. There's no big lineups. There's no anything. The parking lot has more than enough room to accommodate this. You'll travel through. At the end, we'll have the bridge all done up in lights. And at the end, you'll be given a candy bag following Renfrew County District Health Unit guidelines. And then you'll walk back around here and get in your car and leave. This entire plan has been approved in its entirety by the Renfrew County District Health Unit. They see no issues with this plan. So it's a very safe, very well thought out plan for this event. And I think it's really important if we can, if the circumstances will allow for it, if we don't get sent back into another stage, that we do this because especially for the kids, Christmas is going to be really hard, and it'd be nice to do something for them, but obviously the circumstances will determine that. But as it stands right now, this plan is fully approved by Renfrew County District Health Unit, and will be able to safely operate at half the capacity of the allowed events. So I'd be more than happy to answer more questions after, but I'll move on to the next slide here. Okay, this next one is actually a picture that I took, but so we have partnered with the Ottawa Valley Tourism Association to create new tourism and community photos. So it's an initiative that the Ottawa Valley Tourism Association has developed. So these photos and videos will be used to promote KHR on OVTA's website, and other promotional material will be available for us to use as well for our own purposes. This will be occurring mid-October, and the costs will be shared 50-50 between OVTA and the municipality, costing us only $500 for a full day of shooting with models included. So it's a really good deal, and it's really going to get us highly involved with the Ottawa Valley Tourism Association so that we can bring more tourism and business to our economy. And the final one is just a quick update. Best costume ever, launching October 1st for everybody out there in the public. We want to see your, we don't care if it's from 1980 or 2019. We want to see all those kooky costumes because you can win some great prizes for adults and for kids. So I'll go all the way back.
Good. Okay. Thank you,
Here we
Chris.
are.
Well done. All right. Item number 1, is there any comments or questions on the action tour? Now you're going to have to take,
There you go.
okay, good. So I can have them on. Thank you. So item number 1.
Just a
Okay.
comment. Wonderful.
Okay. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Good job.
Kudos.
Really good job. I
Yeah.
want to thank
Lots of
John.
good comments.
Yeah, John and I spent time with Chris that morning and into the early afternoon. So thank you, John, for making yourself available. Item number 2,
So it's the digital Main Street update.
anything on that? Number 3,
Number 3, your history project.
good idea, Chris. Oh, Carol, you have to unmute. Unmute, Carl. You don't know how? Okay. Sue, do you have? Okay, Carl, go ahead.
Okay, I was talking to Chris earlier. I gave it to Linda over here, but I'll get it back. I have my grandmother's diary from the farm when my grandfather used to go out thrashing with the horses for $5. And,
Wow.
and she kept track of everything in it. My dad owed her 75 cents for a pair of gloves, and she made him pay. And I'm going to get it and give it to Chris to go over it.
Oh,
Thank you.
wow, wow. What a
Thank you, thank you.
valuable document.
Yeah,
Thank you, Carl.
and she
Yeah,
used
this is
to-
the stuff that we want to see. We want to
That's
see this
exactly.
local family history, even if it's just the crazy story that you maybe don't know if it's true or you don't know. Just tell it to us. We want to hear it. This is the kind of stuff we think it's really important as a community to build this culture around you personally.
Yep.
And we think it's really important that you share this with us. So we really want to see all this stuff, and anything you got, we want to see it. We're very excited. So
It'll tell you
good.
that she took butter and traded it for flour and all this stuff down to the store down here.
Wow,
I'll go get it tomorrow, Chris, and I'll drop it.
Okay,
up to
thank
you.
you.
Okay.
sounds good. Great.
forward
That's
to
the
it.
stuff. Okay. Number 4,
Remembrance Radio.
anything on Remembrance Radio?
I think that's a
Oh.
great idea.
Okay, can council, can you give me a show of hands that Chris go ahead with that project? Perfect, thank you. Chris, that's good. Number 5,
Okay. The walkthrough parade Christmas in KHR.
any comments or questions on the walkthrough parade?
Just,
No.
can I comment, Janice?
Please, please.
So, and this is just, this is the first Santa Claus parade I think of that I've heard of that they've made any changes to. All the other ones that I hear of are being canceled. You know, and they're already starting to cancel them. So I think, Chris, that, you know, especially if you're keeping with the lower numbers below what the health unit is asking for, I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. And I think you're right. I think the kids are gonna want something. Now, is there a budget that you're gonna require for this? Because I know you
No,
talked about.
actually, this initiative, my apologies, I should have mentioned this.
That's okay.
This initiative will be involving every member of Killaloe Haggerty Richards community. I'm just waiting for approval to see if this can go, and then I'm going to be gathering all the local committees, and we're going to be trying to basically offset as much as that costs between all the organizations, including the volunteers. And then once I know that, then I'll have an estimation. It'll probably be similar to what your normal donation of the candy, which would normally be donated. Other than that, there'll be no extra cost. And the good thing about this event, if we do for any reason have to go back, there's not a huge setup. So it's a pretty low risk in that regard. And so I think it's the best, closest thing to a parade that we can get. And it's kind of an interesting thing, and maybe it'll catch on. But I definitely agree with you. I thought it was incredibly important that we do something for the kids. And it'll all be local. You won't be able to get in without a ticket from Killaloe Haggerty Richards Naturally Spirited. So that's going to keep things incredibly local, which is another huge benefit as well.
Good. I think it's good.
Okay. Anything further on the Christmas parade? Oh, sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Do you have a date for that, Chris?
That will all be, once I get from here, I'm going to meet with this group, but I'm thinking middle of November, but I'll get back to you with a concrete date. I didn't want to set anything in stone until I knew from council that they would be going along with it. And then once I get that approval, then I'll be hitting the ground running, making sure all those dates and everything is locked down. And as soon as I have the information, I'll be passing it on to everyone here.
Any further comments or questions? Okay, those in favor of Chris moving forward with the Christmas parade? Brian, are you okay? Okay, great. That's unanimous, Chris, on
Yep.
that one. Oh,
Okay.
Brian? Sorry, Brian? Brian?
I'm good with it,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, good. The next one is the OVTA photo shoot. Any comments on that? That is a requirement of $500.
Yes.
Okay. All right, any show of hands that Chris goes ahead with that? Brian, are you okay? Good.
Yes.
Okay, so that's unanimous as well, Chris.
Okay.
Anything else, Chris, on your report?
No, there was just the update about the costume contest, but you guys already know about that. So other than that, that's my report.
Okay, any questions further, council, of Chris on anything that he reported? All right, thank you very much, Chris. I'll ask you to stay, please. All right, we're moving on. Bob, are you on? Oh, there's Bob. Hi, Bob, how are you tonight?
Pretty good, yourself?
Good, good. So as fire chief, could you give us your report, please?
Sure. How does this screen share work? I just click and you see what I see?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Bob. So Bob, you just click it and it'll show
Yeah.
you all your screens, and you pick the screen that you want to share.
Okay.
There we go.
All
right.
There
Awesome.
you go.
We're good.
Okay, so this is our special report. And what we've got here on the fire call since the last meeting, which we had with council, was August 27th. So since then, we had 2 fire calls. September 6th, we had black smoke near the intersection of Highway 60 and Round Lake Road. And on September the 9th, we had an unintended brush pile fire in Round Lake Road as well. Activities of note since then, we had the ladder certification done for the trucks. They all tested good. We did a kids castle fire inspection, and we started our bi-monthly meetings again with COVID rules. And here are some of the setup that we've used. What we did is we used the Round Lake Hall as our meeting place, and we used the apparatus bays. Now you can see the layout there that we've had. You could easily get 40 people in there without any issue whatsoever if someone was so inclined to need that space. Okay. So what else did we have? September 10th, we had a fire marshal conference call. On the 16th of September, Jordan Bozak moved to Barry's Bay and he's resigned from KHR FD. September 3rd, we had PAC 6. I keep forgetting what PAC is. It's the old Zone 6 from the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs. We had a Zoom meeting on that. And then we did the Mask Road Recycling Unit brush burn, which wasn't as successful as we had hoped. What you see here is Saturday evening. We got a not too bad of a start on it at 7:30. By 9:30, it was smothering itself. And you can see down here, even when we added departmental fans from the trucks, it was very, very difficult to get it going. When it was pushed up with the dozers and the loader, the piles were too compressed. There wasn't air getting in. And even when we dumped leaves on it, we were getting, really, it was like a wet mat. In some cases, it smothered the fire. Sunday morning, we came back, she was still smoldering. So we put what was the remnants of the 3 piles into 1 pile. That's what's happening with the dozer there. We probably got rid of 60% of our matter, but we have to find another way of handling this. It's been suggested we need some type of harrow, root rake or a clam that we can lift the material and put it into a raging fire or coals that are at the bottom, same as you would do with a campfire. You get the coals going, add a few more pieces and do it like that. And of course, have the piles a lot smaller than what we were dealing with. So it does have merit, but it does need to have some fine tuning as well. Training undertaken since the last meeting, and we did extrication training on September the 15th, and we did car fire training on September 22nd. New fire hall meetings, Dale's already talked to you about it. We had one progress meeting on the 9th and the 23rd. CEMC initiatives, we had EOCG meetings on August 31st, September 4th, 10th, and 18th. COVID-19 ministry meetings, September 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th. We had our one this afternoon, which was interesting because there's so much happening now, and we have so many ministries reporting that they're actually going to put 2 meetings a week. So we're going to have them on Tuesdays and Fridays effective this week. On September 21st, we had a Renfrew County COVID-19 briefing. And while we're on the CEMC initiative, we do need to have an emergency management committee as soon as we can, so we can clarify and clean up all of our material that has to be sent to the OFMEM by year end. Can we get a date from the members sitting around the table? That'll be John, Stanley, and Ted.
So Ted, you're the chair, I believe, still, yes?
Yeah.
And we can do a night meeting. And do you need some time looking for a date, or could we set one up right now?
No, we can set one up right now.
Okay, so we have to have it done probably in October because of hunting in November, but just so we can meet our year end, that Bob can get everything done. So is there any dates that you have available in October at the latter part?
The latter part, yeah, any time last week could work.
Yeah, I'm good too, the last week.
Earlier in the week would be better.
Sorry?
The 26th or the 27th?
Yeah, I'm good either date. Bob, how about, who else is on there?
John and Stanley.
John and Stanley.
Okay, John,
okay.
Stanley, how are you for the 26th? At 7, Ted, would 7 o'clock be okay or is 7:30
Yeah.
better for you?
Oh, 7's good.
Bob Garrow,
Okay,
October
I'm good.
26th?
October 26, 7 o'clock.
Okay, Sue, yeah, Sue, we'd ask that you be there as well. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so I've got set up emergency management meeting at 7 o'clock on October 26th.
And we
Okay.
can meet in council, we can meet in council chambers.
Yeah, we can meet in council chambers because we have enough distance there, social distance. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead,
so
Bob.
that's Monday. Okay, the wildfire hazard report. The ratings that we currently have right now is we've got an overall assessment at moderate. We have 4 moderate, 1 high, 1 low. You throw out the lowest and throw out the highest, you're stuck with moderate. So that's where we're at with that. On COVID-19, Renfrew County right now is running with 52 confirmed cases, resolved at 42, 1 death, with total tests coming in at 27,615. Out of those 52, 9 are in isolation, 42 are resolved, 1 deceased. The 42 resolved, it represents 80.77%. The change since our last meeting, it's different for the ones on EOCG because we have them more frequently. But since our last meeting, there's been 10 in the Arnprior area, 12 in Pembroke and area, 10 in Petawawa, and 17 in Renfrew and area. That's where your increases came from, taking you from 31 to 52. If you're looking at Ontario, we've got 50,531 confirmed cases. Out of that, 43,127 are resolved for 85.35%. Deaths are 2,840 for 5.62%. Nationally, they're only giving me rounded figures for some of this. Confirmed cases at 155,000, resolved cases at 133,000, which gives you 72.9% resolution. Deaths at 9,278, which gives you just under 6%. International, as of earlier this morning, confirmed cases at 33,578,990, resolved 24,898,815 for 74,000, or pardon me, for 74.15%. And you'll notice that death right now, we've cracked 1 million now. We've got 1,006,965 deaths, or 3% of overall total. And that's what I got.
Thank you very much. Okay,
wait,
so
I got
Council,
one more.
oh, sorry.
I got one more thing I forgot about. I had you like the statistics, Jan, so I did create the POC paper here that everyone has. They can root through it for information and standards and numbers and all kinds of goodies.
Yes.
We get
I
the
see
wildfire maps, and all kinds of things.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back
Now,
to
how do I
number
get
1.
out of this?
All right. Okay, Council, can you get out of there so we can have my full council?
So you just go to stop sharing, Bob.
Stop sharing.
There's a stop sharing? That's not it. I don't see it stop sharing.
Should be at the top of your screen, I believe. Or on your bottom bar. Where it says screen share.
Oh. No, I don't have a screen share button that I see. I can close
Yeah, at the
that.
bottom, Bob, the screen share. There you go.
Oh, there, great. Thank you. Okay, Council. So item number 1, fire calls, questions or comments. Number 2, activities. Number 3. Wait, I'm back to number 2. I'd ask Sue that we prepare a letter for Jordan Bojack and thank him very much for all the time that he spent with KHR Fire Department and wish him the best in his endeavors at Madawaska Valley.
Yeah.
Thank you. Number 3. Number 4. 5. 6. 7. And, the PEOC report. The report as a whole. Any comments or questions? Oh, sorry. Ted, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, just, not on the report, but the, training on October 25th, Bob, Deputy Chief Kevin Kelby's gonna give you a call. It's going to start, I believe, at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's going to start with a tour of the whole facility. And then we will have lunch. And then we will do some, probably some water transfer, some pumping. I believe you'll need a tanker and a pumper and whatever else you want to bring out. But I'm going to give
Okay, he's
Kevin.
He's gonna call you.
Go call you.
He's going to call you, Bob, to confirm.
Perfect. Good.
Okay. Thank you, Ted, for that. Anything else of Bob? Council? Okay. We have set up a meeting to interview another firefighter. And Bob, did you confirm that with Stanley?
Yeah, I confirmed it with Stanley. I've talked with the individual. Dwayne's available and you're available.
So it's on the 13th of October at 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just so council knows. All right, thank you, Bob, then. Have a good night. You can be excused. Thank you.
All right. Stay
Hi,
safe.
Dean. Yeah, you too. Hi, Dean, are you on? Hi, Dean.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Dean. Can I have your
Yeah.
report, please?
sure. So right now, we're just doing some regular road maintenance. The grader right now, it's been working, it's operational and it's been really working good for us. So that's good news. We're continuing brushing. Turner's Road has now been complete. We're moving to a section off of Deer Trail. We've also did some brushing in Station Park, as some of the shrubs were getting overrun by some Manitoba maples, I do believe. And we also did some brushing as well and some chipping over by the bridge on Mill Street as well. So last night in Station Park, we had some vandalism. There was one of the street lights, one of the lights that go through Station Park. It was shoved over and the post and the light had both been broken. So I had to get an electrician in there today to cap it off for temporarily, just because it's be a safety hazard, obviously, because there's wires sticking out. So they're looking into seeing if we can get a similar post to match the rest of them, but I do not expect that we'll be able to get that, as those posts have been in there for a number of years and just been outdated and such. So I don't know if we're gonna look at maybe, I don't know, down the line, maybe putting in a bunch of different ones or putting in a different one for, in the center of that. So it's up to council's decision down the line. But right now they're looking into seeing if they can get the same design, something similar to it, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. Undercoating on all the trucks have been completed. Sidewalks now should be poured this week in town. We had a call from a gentleman that bought property on Eno Road. He wouldn't take no for an answer. So I thought that he wanted me to bring it to council. It's about beside Cheryl Boyle Park on Deer Trail Road, that a gentleman wanted a boat launch there. So I did inform him that there is a dry hydrant there. It wasn't a boat launch. It was, it's a park. It's not a boat launch. We've discussed this issue before with our EOCG meeting, I do believe it was, that before we opened the gates in Cheryl Boyle Park, that both sides of the roads was blocked up and it'd be just too much of a concern there for safety, for one, and for the fire trucks getting into that dry hydrant if need be. So like I said, he didn't want to take me for an answer. So I said the best thing I could do is take it to council and get council's decision on this.
Go ahead, Dean, and I'll come back
Okay.
to the questions. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I know we had, I guess Sue had talked a while ago about traffic counters and radar signs for the municipality. We've got a few quotes here. They're not cheap. One was from a company out of Laval, Quebec. For the sign, radar sign itself, there's no post, so we'd have to put it like on a hydropole or any post that's close to that. Was $6,100 for that. It was just the radar. They do detect traffic on both ends, traffic counter, so it does all vehicle counts per day, hour, types of vehicles, cars, trucks, transports, etc. That was one of our quotes. They do not sell trailers with it, so I just thought, you know, I'd ask them about the trailer. So they do not sell trailers with that. Our other one was from Cambridge. It does the same thing. It does vehicle counts per day, hour, vehicles, etc. With the trailer, you can get different options now with the height of your radar, like if your speed, I guess I should say. So there's like a 15-inch, a 12-inch, etc., etc. That's with the trailer, and it does the same thing with the traffic count as well. That one with the trailer would be roughly $8,100. That's for the 12-inch, or if we went to the 15, it would be $9,000. Obviously, it's council's decision of if they want to move forward or if we want to get some more estimates, which would be fine. It'd be good for our minimum maintenance standards, so we'd be able to have traffic counts per road, so we could adjust our traffic counts to the minimum maintenance standards. Also applying for grants, they'd be good as that as well, because a lot of them, as we had to borrow from the Renfrew County at one time to get a grant for Mill Street plus Rochford. So one of the grants, they always want to, you know, how much traffic count per hour, the speed, et cetera, you know, if we're doing a replacement on a hard top surface or any road within the municipality. So that's for council decision. I could also forward them the quotes, et cetera, if they wish. Okay, as for the landfill, like Bob had touched on that, the brush as well. I guess a bunch of members of council had met one time at the landfill, and you know, they wanted it where there's more fill on the bottom, so you know, it wouldn't get into you know, go down deeper or whatever and burn deeper. So we had redid that. So now there is 3 feet of fill roughly on the spot that the brush is currently being placed at. And I know Bob did say that once we take it up top, everything is compacted more, which it is. I understand that, but I think we could try it again, not to let the piles get so big, and have the piles like a little bit more controllable right where they put the brush as of right now. It wouldn't be compacted as much because we wouldn't be carrying it up or moving it up on top of where the recommendation was to begin with. So if we left it down below, I think that would definitely, you know, help out a lot more than you know, moving it around. The more you move it around, the more it's going to be compacted, et cetera, et cetera. The thing about the needles and leaves, the thing is, there's so many needles and leaves that come in there. When you get needles and leaves all compressed with the weather, the moisture and stuff, you take one bucket out of there and you can see like the steam flying off it. So that's obviously, you know, going to put the fire out. So I think we're going to have to come up with a different plan sometime down the road of what and how we can do with the needles and leaves. Still with the landfill waste management, the C&D, the one load has been taken out so far. The other, they moved in a piece of equipment, so they will get it out before the snow flies. But right now, there's only one load as far as been taken out. On Friday, their GFL was supposed to be. We had a scheduled garbage compactor bin exchange. They had a malfunction on their truck, so they could not come on Friday. So we had to make room for the weekend and such. So we had to bring 2 of our tandem trucks out to the waste site. It was a little bit more of an inconvenience, but we managed to get through the weekend. And the confirmation, I was talking to the gentleman today, that would be tomorrow to swap out the bins tomorrow morning. So we should be good for the bins there tomorrow morning for are opening at 7:30. On the recycling notes as well, our program, it's really been busy at the Mask Road site. 1 week, we're probably going through mostly 2.5, 3 bins switched per week with paper recycling and cardboard, which is really good to see. It's really been taken off. It's really been, a lot of people's been recycling more, I find. Like, I know Beeline, our contractor that takes our bins there, they said we're really one of the most municipalities that they haul for that take a lot to the facility. So we've been really fortunate that we have them as well hauling it as well. So since we now take cash and the office has been open, we had been given people some notice, like at the landfills, both Mask and Sunrise and Round Lake, that we'll be taking cash right now for tags and C&D, et cetera, et cetera. So we had to put notices in the recycling boxes in town because a lot of people don't go to the landfill or whatever because they get garbage and recycling picked up. So we did put notices in the recycling boxes that the garbage will not be picked up now because of no tags on the bags. So I just thought council would be aware of that as well. And that's it for my report.
Okay, thank you, Dean. Good report. We'll go back and touch on some of his issues. So the vandalism in Killaloe. Council, you'll just be aware that the pole may not match with the others. We gave consideration to putting up cameras there. Is that something maybe council we should be looking at again?
I don't think it wouldn't hurt to get a price.
Yeah,
and
wouldn't.
stuff.
Yeah. Dale is gone, but Sue, maybe we could leave a message with Dale if the majority of council agree that we investigate putting some cameras up there. It's costing taxpayers. It would be better money spent getting a camera than fixing up the park when the vandalism occurs. That's a huge, and the risk there, the liability on live wires and everything else that Dean talked about. So council, can I have a show of hands that we look at purchasing some cameras there, better spend it there than fixing it up? Okay, that's a unanimous. Okay, Sue, I'll leave that with you. The boat launch. So we did talk about this at a EOCG meeting, and I gave Dean the authority to go ahead and say, no, we're not prepared to put up another boat launch. So is there any questions on that issue, or does council disagree with my direction and Dean telling them no? Okay, good. The traffic counters. So Dean, you were going to look at if you had a little trailer that you could accommodate the $6,100 one if council decides on the traffic count and the speed. Were you able to see if you have such a beast?
We do have a trailer, Janice, but the calibration wouldn't be the same.
Okay.
When they come up, they said the calibration wouldn't quite be the same. It'd take a lot more to accommodate that.
Okay, so council, then we'd be looking at the $8,100 one that comes out of Cambridge that has the trailer with it so that we can move it around. What's the comments on, and now Dean is telling us that he could use it, to help with the grant applications and for traffic counts to justify road construction and those kind of things. Is it something that council wants to entertain in this budget? Dean, you have it in your budget?
No.
Okay, good answer. So council, what's your wishes? Do you want to look at it for next year and put it in the budget, or do we want to just go ahead and purchase it and try to find the money when we reconcile? First Ted and then Brian.
Yeah, I think we should wait till the next year's budget.
Okay.
Maybe do a little more shopping around, see if there is
Something else?
out there.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
I thought the same, we could budget it in next year if, unless there's something really pressing that we need it now. For Dean, I don't know.
Well,
I'd rather wait.
Okay. we're getting complaints about the speed, if you know, in Killaloe, and that sort of was, we were trying to help rectify that. But okay, Brian agrees then that we should wait till next year. Does anybody on council think we should go forward now? I don't see any hands. Okay, Dean, so maybe you could plug that in for next year then in your budget, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good, thank you. The next issue was the brush and the needles. And so Bob had talked about the rake, the root rake. I spoke with Dean about this after, and Dean thinks maybe a better idea would be to burn more often. Also, council's looking at starting to charge for needles, and so that might help. You know, I think people might start, you know, doing something different with the needles instead of bringing it in. And if we burnt more often, we wouldn't have those huge piles there. And so that was something that Dean and I had talked about. Stanley, you have a comment?
If we if we start charging for leaving the yard waste, which is needles and stuff, we might be able to, or if the Dean could investigate in that guy that's taken that C&D, I wonder would he be interested in those needles?
Dean, we talked about that. Dean, could you answer that, please?
Yes, Stanley, I did not get talking to him about that. I definitely could. The other option would be is to, like you say, if we did start charging or whatever, it would alleviate a lot of the needles and leaves coming in, which maybe would be feasible for being able to haul to the Red Rock site just out of in-house. But I never did talk to that guy from Bancroft, so I could talk to him, Stanley, and we can go from there.
That's right.
With that.
Right now, the way it sits, it's a dead horse there because it's a freebie and the money isn't there to be mauling that stuff around. But if we put a price on it there, where there'd be some revenue come back, then if they were willing to take it down there, we could probably get rid of it cheaper than what we could handle it ourselves hauling at Red Rock. But at least it would be worth investigating and asking him if he is interested and what the price would be. Eh?
Yeah, trying to save our space.
Comparison.
We're trying to save our space, so yes. Okay, Dean, can we leave that with you then?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, is there anything else on Dean's report that council you have questions on? Dean, I think I covered all the points.
Yes, I do believe, Janice, yes.
Okay. Any comments or questions further for Dean? Carl? You're on mute. Sue, can you unmute him? Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Dean, on this street there, did you get any locates done yet on the street for the
Yeah,
ditching?
yes, I did get the locates there, Carl. I don't think anybody has been out there to look at it yet, but their locates have been done there yet.
Okay, great, thank you.
No problem.
Any further questions or comments for Dean?
We're gonna have to hire a security guard and watch the park. We got this crap happening again. Remember when you're throwing all the bricks and stuff in the creek?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just probably a few kids that have no, I better quiet.
Yes, yes. I'm going to try to make you quiet. That's where I think we have to investigate the cameras. And then we can at least show the OPP what's happening there.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cost to the taxpayers is tremendous when we have to continue to fix a beautiful piece of an asset for KHR. Okay, Dean, then Ted, if you, I'll leave it up to you to declare if you so wish. And we're going to look at the general and road vouchers. I'll wait till Ted exits. Okay, So is there any questions or comments on the road or general vouchers? Okay, seeing none then, could I have a mover and a seconder that we pay the bills? Moved by Carl, seconded by Debbie. All those in favor? It's carried. Ted, you can go back. Thank you. You can go back, Ted. Thank you. Okay. So anything else, Dean, for council?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, anything else, council, for Dean? Okay, I think, Dean, we can excuse you then. Thank you very much for participating and have a nice evening, okay?
I might just stay, Janice, in case there's any
Okay,
questions about,
of course, you're welcome to.
about the bylaws there.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I see that. Okay, all right. We're moving on to the CAO then.
Okay, so James from IT Solution actually was in today, installed the OWL technology. He gave a crash course to Chris. So Chris is going to hopefully, we'll maybe do a little mock thing to see how it works. And then we can do the Zoom from the council chambers where everybody could come in and we could do the Zoom. So we'll work on that for the next meeting.
Okay.
Will Barr, the auditor, was in last week to do the procedural audit. Everything is looking good and there's no current issues. We did get, I think I sent it to all of council, the recognition events for post-COVID for the opening of the library. Did
Did everybody get that?
I
Nobody-
think so, yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
Anyway, I've given it to the library, so they're aware of what has to be done for the opening ceremony on the 22nd of October. I also sent her a letter now that the Trillium Foundation or the grant has been completed, the library edition, looking for the cash donations towards the project. I haven't heard anything back on that yet. We received an email from the Madawaska Valley regarding an event that the Our Lady Seat of Wisdom is holding tomorrow. I CC'd, I spoke to Renfrew County District Health Unit regarding our concerns, holding this event with 90 people. They have sent a letter saying, there's strict guidelines that they're going to have to follow. And I said, okay, but I'm just expressing our concerns as municipality that it's in our municipality. And I've CC'd the OPP. And I also spoke to Lindsay Smith from the health unit as well. So just so that they're aware of our concerns. The CIBC now will be providing us with a new account number as we move forward, changing our bank account because of the fraudulent check that went through our account. We did get the money, but of course, we're probably going to have to change our bank account because they have our signatures and the account number. I requested to have the week of the October 12th off, and Janice gave me permission. We had a Zoom meeting with the County of Renfrew, Charles Cheeseman and Craig Kelly to go over some of the amendments to the official plan. And, we expressed our comments and concerns, and we'll see what the county does because they're trying to bring a report to county council as well, but we just expressed our concerns as staff. We got an email from Manfred and Joanne Ficker complimenting our waste site, and I would just like to read it. Hello, Sue. We just want to make a positive comment about the young man, Darren, who works at the Mask Road waste site. He is a very pleasant person. He's a soft-spoken, friendly, and very efficient. He is well suited to interact with the public. We got, and I guess everybody got the job description for the new position. And just wanted councils, if they had any concerns or questions with the job description before we go and put it into the paper.
Keep going and we'll come back to all the questions, yes.
Okay, all right, and updates from an email from somebody who's getting married next year in 2021. So I thought I would just forward to everybody because they're looking to have 350 people on a private farm, but who knows what'll happen in the coming weeks. So I guess that part of their requirement was to notify the municipality. And the last email was from, everybody got it from Tanya Lyons on the Hoke Farm Museum.
Okay. That's your report, Sue?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start at the top then. The first one was about the Zoom, the OWL. So we do have it now. And so the next meeting, October 20th, all members of council, you can come in into the office here. We have the room in our chambers to do social distancing. The public will then be able to participate in our meeting through the OWL, and our media also, as we're not allowing public or the media in yet until COVID is more firm on our position on opening the doors. But the OWL will allow the public and the press to take part in the meeting, and then after they can respond, and again in texts, phone calls or emails as to anything that was conducted during that meeting. So that's just for the next meeting. Then you'll know everybody on council October 20th. Then I ask that you come in at 7 o'clock and we'll have our meeting. Will Barr gave a good report. We're in good shape. Congratulations to council and to all the department heads and staff. Sue, to you and Tammy, well done. What a good job. And it's always, I met with Will here, and he told me that we're in very good shape. So that was really good news. So Sue has given the library all the COVID ribbon cutting instructions. So due diligence on that part, so that when the ribbon cutting, I hope that you can all join us from that ribbon cutting. It's at 5 o'clock, I believe, at the library, and they've got all the rules, and so we've done our due diligence on that. Sue has been very careful on the request from the Lady of Wisdom about the event in Wilno tomorrow. 90 people. She was quite, again, protected the municipality and ensuring that they've got all the information. Sue has contacted the health unit, so we've done everything because the event is being held in our municipality. The CIBC check incident. So I had asked Sue to inform all of you regarding that. A fraudulent check was passed through and cashed for $52,000 in our account. And we did, I want to thank the staff, Tammy and Sue. If we wouldn't have been, they wouldn't have been on top of it, we would have lost that money. So they really did a really good job. And then after at our EOCG meeting, I mentioned that I was very nervous that somebody had Sue and my signature. We have, then we're going to cancel all the accounts. We're going to open new accounts so that the people out there that had that information, it'll no longer be valid. So that's in the process, and Sue and Tammy have done a wonderful job on that as well. Sue, I approved the holiday for October the 12th. It's good for sure to take a holiday, and she's got lots of them available. She has to use them up before the end of the year. So yes, I gave her permission. We did have a really good meeting with Charles Cheeseman about the OP with staff. We went through the document the day before, staff and I. We had tons of questions for both Charles and Craig. And so then we went through those questions. I allowed each staff member to bring up their concerns with that document. We felt a lot better after we had that meeting with Charles and with Craig. A lot of our questions were answered. The province has given the exemption to the County of Renfrew regarding the OP. So They're going to produce a document, and they're going to have public meetings with the document, but all the questions that we had, they were addressed. We felt a lot better about them. So we will wait for that draft to come up, and then we'll all have an opportunity to go through. And I might be asking full council to do a meeting to review that document, because that's how important it is. But so that's going to be coming up in the next month. So just to council, I want to reassure you, a lot of the concerns we had were addressed at that meeting, and that hopefully we'll see when we get that draft, that those are included in that draft. I wanted to pass on, I think we should send a copy of that email to Darren, saying what a good job he's doing, because our staff need to know they're being recognized by the public. And I want to offer my congratulations to him on a job well done. The job description was sent to all of you. We are going to talk in closed about the monetary issues with that job description, but the staff with Tyler and Sue and Tammy did a lot of work on that job description. And we think we've highlighted all the issues that need to be addressed to help Tyler get through his job. If there's no question, I'm going to open it up for questions after, but if there's no questions, then we'll talk about it in closed on the monetary aspect. The wedding that's coming up in 2021, so 350 people will respond saying that, we need to discuss this at the time when right now they wouldn't be allowed to do such an event. So it's a wait and see. Before we issue any kind of agreeing to anything, we need to come near to the point where we know what's going on with the COVID. Now, Hoke Park. So we did get some emails from some of the public regarding Hoke Park and council's decision, and they weren't happy with it. Now I have a written document that I'm going to read, because I want to cover all the points and I want council to be aware of them, plus the public that are watching our meeting through YouTube. I really do want you to understand this was not an easy decision for council. I'm going to run through the timelines, what happened, how they happened, and why council made the decision that we did. It's a lengthy document, but I think it's necessary for the public to hear what council did and why. So bear with me. On a field trip to Hoke Farm to learn more about the museum, the artifacts inside, and to plan the scenes for a promotional video to support the Hoke Farm Museum, Chris Neff, our community development officer, along with Lynn Flockstra and Lynn Postal, visited the museum. After a tour and much collaboration on ideas for the video series, he wanted to see the cistern in the basement that collected water from the German flat roof design. It was here that he discovered the scene you see before you. And Chris is going to put up some of the pictures. Okay. It looked like the entire weight of the building was being held up by one column that was severely listed to one side. The other supports have either collapsed or have punched through the beam and were now floating. Cracks from daylight could be seen through the walls and the foundation. Once he realized the dire straits of the situation, he immediately evacuated the site along with his tour guides. He immediately reported the status of the building to the CBO, Tyler Mask, and asset manager, Dale Thompson. Tyler then put an unsafe building order on the property. The property entrances were blocked off and the area was flagged with danger tape. Then began the lengthy process of having the building assessed by engineering firm Greenview to assess the structural integrity of the building and to explore the feasibility of any and all options available to council. In the meantime, Chris began working to determine what grant opportunities may be available to help support the repair of the building. In this research, he found the Heritage and Cultural Spaces Grant and the Museum Assistant Program that may be able to help. However, in the best case scenario, the municipality would have to be able to guarantee 50% of the costs covered if the Heritage and Ecology Society and Museum met all their criteria. Unfortunately, the plan of repairing the museum was made significantly more complex when Greenview delivered their report on the structural condition of the building. The following are direct quotes from that review, from Greenview's review, and it's available in the package. The building has undergone the collapse of numerous supporting elements in the basement level. The interior supporting concrete foundation wall just west and adjacent to the interior stair has technically collapsed and is no longer supporting the floor in this area. The concrete lintel adjacent to this wall has fully collapsed. Most of the wood, strip logs, and steel telepost columns have either been fully displaced, they were lying on the floor, or not supporting any load. The main floor and support walls are technically unsupported at all interior areas. Remnants of the old concrete floor and other debris were scattered throughout the basement. The basement in general exhibited evidence of significant flooding up to approximately 1 meter in depth. Various degrees of fungal rot or punkwood was observed in wood floor joists, beams, and exposed wall framing, and is generally considered to be indicative of excess dampness in this area. Wood rot is therefore expected to be pervasive throughout the building. Aspects of the collapse were likely relatively recent and sudden. Other aspects are indicative of prolonged deterioration. A number of structural elements in the basement, the steel posts, laminated beams, and concrete support walls did not appear to have any contemporary with the historic construction. Township staff reported no records of any recent construction or repair. The interior wall areas are technically unsupported by otherwise hung up on building elements not otherwise meant for this purpose, such as doors, windows, and other elements may be under load in such a manner that their movement or displacement may precipitate a further collapse. Lifting for support of any building elements may also loosen connection and precipitate a further collapse. Therefore, the building is considered unsafe, specifically under 15.92 of the Building Code Act 1992, SO 1992. Stabilization and repair would need to be performed up to and likely including the second story. Rotten wood would need to be removed or otherwise stabilized, and the majority of the foundation and the main floor framing would need to be all replaced. The masonry would need to be removed, stored, and replaced. Therefore, the heritage value of the building will be compromised doing this work. Any salvage work, especially with respect to the museum artifacts and other contacts within the building, must be carried out by a qualified and experienced contractor or other individuals with documented experience in and fully insured for this type of work. Otherwise, it may be most suitable to demolish the building. With this knowledge in hand, council, myself, and the department heads began exploring other options for the future of Hoke Farmhouse. All points included what grants were available, the feasibility of the project for both demolition and repair, timeline and cost to remove the items were all considered, and tenders were invited to give estimations for these costs. Chris realized that in either situation, the artifacts needed to be removed before the snowfall, and so he made it his mission to immediately begin working with the Heritage and Ecology Society on solutions to remove the artifacts in a safe manner, as well as look for safe storage options for these items. During this time, he received an email that was sent to all CBOs in Renfrew County that was forwarded to him from our CBO, Tyler Mask. The email was a call from a production company representing the hit history TV channel show Salvage Kings and Priestley Demolition. They were looking for buildings to be demolished in Renfrew County. Still exploring all options, Chris reached out to the company contact, giving a lengthy history of the village, the museum, and the current situation. He asked that he would be willing to help He asked if they would be willing to help remove the artifacts before the demolition to help the Heritage and Ecology Society. When they agreed to this, the municipality invited them to submit a tender. Then the time came to make a full decision about Hope Park. With all the information in hand, council voted that the most feasible option would be to demolish the building due to the fact that even if the municipality were to pay for the building to be completely stripped down and completely rebuilt, little to no historical features would remain in the structure once it was repaired. In addition to this, only 50% of the costs could be covered maybe by grants, leaving significant costs to still be paid by the taxpayers of Kildu, Haggerty, and Richards for the building that other than the location would contain little no historical remnants of the original structure. After this decision was made, Chris began negotiating with the production company and Priestley Demolition to secure a quote. After some site visits with both the companies, many emails back and forth, and several negotiations, the municipality were able to secure a quote with Priestley for the demolition that was well below any other tender for demolition that we received. In addition to this, they agreed to remove the artifacts from the building for free, with zero cost to the Heritage and Ecology Society. We are currently in the final stages of negotiation regarding this contract. Not only did Priestley submit a quote much lower than the other tenders, removing the items were for free, simply cannot be beat. Furthermore, the show will forever maintain in video format what the museum looked like, preserving the memory of the museum. It will also bring worldwide recognition to KHR, stimulating the economy and tourism for our area. We will also be able to use the video from this production for promotion purposes, providing even more benefit to the municipality in the future. Back to the issue of the storage. When talking about safe storage, the municipality was told the only option the Heritage and Ecology Society had for storage was the old barn on the property. The municipality did not feel this was appropriate given the delicacy and historical significance of some of those items. Therefore, Chris began working on safe storage options for the items. We are now happy to report that due to the generous donation of Cassidy Storage in Pembroke, that the museum will now have two 20-foot airtight sea bins delivered on the site to safely store all of their items for the museum. They're willing to donate it, there'll be no cost. Therefore, in conclusion, the option to use Priestley Demolition and Salvage Kings was by far the most feasible option in comparison to all the other options, presenting significant savings to the taxpayers, ratepayers of KHR. This project will bring worldwide recognition to the area and will promote a permanent legacy in video format for the Hoke Farmhouse. The free use of video footage for promotion is an even further bonus to the community, and overall we feel this is the best option out of all that was explored. In addition to this, the entire endeavor will be completed with no cost to the Heritage and Ecology Society, and they will have safe, weather-tight storage for the items in the museum, again, with no cost to their organization. I want to thank publicly the Heritage and Ecology Society, all their monetary value they put into that property, into that museum, for all their volunteer hours. I want to thank them and congratulate them on what they were able to achieve. There is my report to the public, to the press. Council knew all of this because they were fully engaged and part of the decision making. So I'll go back then. Council, do you have any questions on the owl? Number 2, Will Barr's report. Number 3, the library, the ribbon cutting. Number 4, Lady of Wisdom. Number 5, the CIBC check. Number 6, Sue's holidays. Number 7, the OP. Number 8, Darren, the great email. Number 9, the job description. Number 10, the update on the wedding for 2021. And number 11, the Hope Park presentation that I just read out. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Sue, for your report. Thank you, Chris. We're moving on to bylaws then. So the first bylaw is 41-2020, being a bylaw to amend road naming bylaw to add Misty Morning Lane. Dean, do you want to speak to that?
No, I just didn't know if council had any questions, that's all.
Okay, good. Any questions on that bylaw before I ask for a mover and a seconder? Okay, so, oh, sorry, Carl, did you have a question? Okay, all right. All right, so I need a mover and a seconder for bylaw 41-2020. Moved by Carl, seconded by Debbie. First and second reading. All those in favor? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. Sue, could we do first and second reading, please? First reading, please, on bylaw 41-2020.
Bylaw 41-2020.
Discussion on first reading. Second reading, Sue?
Bylaw 41-2020.
Discussion on second reading. Motion for third, moved by Debbie, seconded by Ted. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you. Sue, third reading, please, short.
Bylaw 41-2020.
Okay, then we're going to move on to correspondence. So council, I'm going to go through it very quickly. If you do have a concern or question, please stop me. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to go through them. Number 1, the County of Renfrew. Number 2, Ottawa Valley Business. Number 3, Ottawa Valley Business. County of Renfrew, the notice of exemption from the province on the OP. Number 5, the results from the fall project. Number 6, reopening Ontario. Number 7, from Renfrew County and District Health Unit. Number 8, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. And number 9, the Municipal Property Assessment Corp. Any other correspondence, Sue?
No.
Okay. All right, we're moving to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business, council? New business. Council, any new business? Okay, Stanley?
It'll be unfinished there. I was to attend that veterinary meeting on the 22nd of September.
Okay,
I got a phone call prior and it was canceled because of COVID.
okay.
So there is no report of any kind from there on that veterinary service.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other new business, council? Okay, so before we go in camera, I want to thank our public. Thank you so much for participating and watching our meeting. Again, if there's any questions, concerns, or comments that you'd like to share with council, you can do so by calling the office here, sending a text or email, and that'll be brought forward for response. I want to thank again the newspapers for participating. We always enjoy having you reporting on our meetings, so thank you very much for being here tonight with us. And the staff that's on, you're welcome to stay. We do have some in-camera issues, and Sue is going to read the issues that are before us. So Sue, could you read the reasons why we're going in? And again, to those of you, the public, thank you very much and have a nice evening.
So litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals, advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, and matters personnel matter, but an identifiable individual.
All right, moved by Debbie, seconded by Ted to go in